Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Class in Session. I am Woman Grandmaster Sabina Feuscher and very excited to bring back another guest in today's podcast. We have none other than Woman Grandmaster Atousa Pourkashiyan. Among many other accomplishments, Atousa recently won the 15th American Women's Continental Championship with 9.5 points out of 11. And I'm very excited to have her join me. And thanks for accepting the invitation, Atousa.
Thank you so much, Sabina. Hello, everyone. Hello, Sabina. It's really great to be here. And I watched some episode of uh, these, series, and I really liked it. So thank you for creating this beautiful idea to promote women chess and chess in general. So yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited. When I decided to work on these, I really had this idea of trying to continue showcasing the various either strong female chess players or female players that are doing things to promote chess. Recently, we also had a podcast about chess wrestling
Oh
that
wow.
came out. Yeah, it's so I
It
try to
should be
find.
cool. Yeah.
I'll let you know more about it later, but yeah, like we want to be able to bring the audience more stories about um, female chess players who either promote the game or love playing, and they love sharing their the way that they got started and how chess is has become part of their lives. And talking about that, Atousa, you are originally from Iran, and I would love to know how you got started into chess. What was the drive behind it, and how your career has started.
Oh wow. Okay. So I started chess when I was about 8 and a half. And it was kind of by accident because I grew up in a family where like sport was a thing, and my both of my parents were in national team, but in volleyball. So they were familiar, with being a professional athlete. And but when I started chess, it was totally, uh, by like a coincidence because one of my mom's friends invited me to a chess camp, and she said, "Okay, chess is a like very good game for kids and so on, and she can enjoy her time." And then I participated in that chess camp, and after 3 months, they had a tournament. It was called Tehran Championship, like the capital of Iran, for under 10 years old kids, but just for girls. And then she asked me to participate in that tournament, and I was so scared because I had no idea that what tournament is, and I was just, 9 years old. But anyway, I played there and I got shared first place. And even when she told my mom, because my mom wasn't there, like when I was playing in the tournament, when she called my mom wouldn't believe her. She said, "No, you're kidding me."
Wow,
So yeah, it was just, by like, I don't know, sometimes, you don't know what your path is. But after that, I won that tournament. Then my parents hired me some coaches, and then I started to, play tournaments here and there. And I started to train for the Iranian championship and so on. But since they were like champions themselves, but in another sport, so did know that, and they should, support the kid, and probably it better
yeah,
that
yeah.
you want to play chess as a kid. I mean, your parents really need to be supportive. Otherwise, I mean, it's really tough. I mean, it's really time consuming. You need to be patient. You need to hire, some coaches. You need to go to tournaments and so on. And I'm really thankful that my parents did all of these for me. And yeah, and this is how it started.
This is amazing. How come did they at all want you to become a volleyball player too? My parents, I come from a chess family, so they got me
Mhm.
into chess. There was nothing else. Nothing else was an option. Well, not really, but how come I did you do any
Yeah.
volleyball as well?
Yeah, I did some volleyball. I mean, my dad especially, he wanted me to play volleyball as well. Um, but um, but they were open. They would tell me that whatever sport you like, you should just, do whatever you like, because if you don't like something, it's just, you're not gonna improve that much. And chess was something that I liked. And at the beginning, I mean, I could have some like achievements, and then that motivated me as well. But yeah, throughout the years, I also played volleyball here and there, but not professionally.
I see. So chess became your first love, so to speak, and became passionate, and you wanted to get better. And
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think that win probably the first tournament win was probably a great motivator for you to want to continue to achieve great things in chess, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a very good motivation for me because I remember after a few months, I played in Iranian Championship, and back then, I think World Youth Championship wasn't an open tournament, so you needed to qualify. You needed to
Mm-hmm.
be the first, the champion of that age group in your country, so you can basically qualify for World Youth Championship. And I needed to like work with my coach. And then after a few months, I qualified for that tournament. And in 1997, I went to France, Cannes,
Mm-hmm.
and that was my first international tournament, and actually first time that I travel abroad without my parents.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Because you were what, like you were 10 years old at the time or
Yeah,
11?
nine
No, oh,
and
nine. Yeah,
9 years old.
immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, you qualified immediately.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah, like
impressive.
about after a few months. Yeah.
Did you love that? I'm assuming you love the experience with the travel.
Yes, but to be honest with you, the first tournament was kind of hard for me. So I got sick and I didn't have my parents, with me. So it wasn't like very good experience for me. But since I played in an international event, and I met a lot of, you know, chess players from all over the world, and I was just 9 years old, so that was a unique, basically thing for me. But yeah, but after that, I started to play almost like most World Youth Championship until I got to
It's
like
quite
20.
it's quite exciting because like sometimes, especially as a kid, when you don't have a good experience, it's hard to come back. And I want, if someone who's a parent who's listening to our podcast and has a kid, reminds them of the fact that you will have tough tournaments, but it's something that you have to go through, same as in life, and it's going to actually help you to get better. And it's a lesson. If you're willing to take that lesson, then you're going to be able to continue improving, and you can get really strong. And talking about that, Atousa, at
Mhm.
12, am I right? At 12 you won the world youth championships, am
Yes,
I right? That was
yes,
your
that is
first?
correct. Yes. So that was my first like world basically medal. A year before, 1999. I became an Asian champion under 10 years old. So I think I have like 4 or 5 gold in Asia for youth championship. And for world championship, like youth world championship, I had 1 gold in 2000 under 12, and 2002 under 14, I got third.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was for like youth championship. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. I remember we got to compete against one another one year, maybe 2003, I think it was.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. Okay. I don't
you don't
remember. Was it
remember?
in
I
Greece?
remember because I lost. That's why.
Oh no,
Oh
sorry.
no, it's okay. But yeah, I think it was in Greece. Yeah, we played against
Okay.
each other, and I had white pieces. It was some Queen's Gambit, I think, and that's all I
Okay.
remember.
Mhm.
When I got when I personally, I like to learn from my losses. So when I have a painful loss, in a way, whether I messed up something that I shouldn't have, I like to learn from it and try not to do it. So it's a tougher memory, but it's something that helps me grow. I don't know if you have something like that or
Yeah.
not, but
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
No,
quite
I
exciting
understand.
to hear that
Mhm.
you won. I didn't know how many medals you had. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean, growing up, basically, I played like all the youth championship, and when I got okay, when I was younger, I could get medals easier probably, but in 2010, I won also Asian
mm-hmm,
championship, which was in Philippines, but like adult, like not juniors. And I remember that was probably one of my, best moments in my career. And like some players like Ju and Jun or Tan Jung-gi and all the like strong players from China and India were playing in that tournament, and that was kind of very nice for me because I remember back then in Iran we had like couple of chess players that had success in youth championship, but they would say, okay, because we don't have enough, trainers,
mm-hmm.
so it's harder to get medals in when you get older and so on. So in 2010, it was a really good moment in my career that I won that medal.
That's really exciting. And I know you won seven Iranian women's championships
Yeah,
as
seven
well,
time. Yeah, yeah,
seven
yeah,
times. And
seven time.
for
Yeah.
how many years were you the strongest female player in Iran?
Um,
Did you ever keep
Actually,
count?
I'm not sure.
No, okay.
Actually, I'm not sure. But yeah, we have a couple of women grandmasters in Iran, and yeah,
It's
so I'm not sure
yeah.
actually.
I know I've seen you. I After we played each other, I would see you at a lot of tournaments, and then I saw you representing Iran at many Olympiads. We think we started around the same time that we, or no, you started way before me. I think you started your first Olympia in 2000, right?
Yes, Istanbul
Yeah.
2000. Yeah.
So
That was my
you've had
first tournament.
quite a few. Which board were you
Yeah.
playing on your first Olympiad?
I think the first Olympiad I was 12 and I played on board two, and
Wow.
it was funny because it was back to back with the World Youth Championship. So I got my gold medal
Uh
in
huh.
under 10, and then I think after a few weeks, I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but I remember that it was kind of back to back that then I played in Olympiad. Yeah.
And as a 12-year-old, how hard was that to be able to, go from tournament to tournament? Do you remember if you felt at all pressure or if you were
No,
perfectly
actually,
close?
it was enjoyable for me. So whenever I was like uh, playing for Iran or like in these tournaments, I was enjoying my time. There was no pressure for me. But okay, if I was someone who was, in top three or top five and they expected me to get medals, then yeah, there was some pressure. But otherwise, I mean, I was not kind of a chess player who would, stress that much during the game. And I remember one of my friends used to tell me that when Atousa is playing chess, it's like she's reading a book, a storybook or something. So I was kind of relaxed during my games. So, but chess is also about sometimes psychological things can affect your games. So if, for example, you're expected to get a medal, yeah, there are some pressures. But otherwise, I mean, I'm not someone who basically put that much pressure on myself.
I love to hear that. How do you manage? How did you manage that? Do you feel that it was
Mm,
your
I
parents?
think it was no, I think it was my character kind of. Actually, my dad wanted me to win, and that was a little bit pressure on me
Hmm.
because he wasn't a chess player, he was a volleyball player, and he didn't know exactly how to treat a chess player. Because as a chess player, when you're playing a game, it's an individual game and it's totally different than volleyball or these, like team events. And all the pressure is on you. So you need to be like more relaxed before the tournament. But when you're playing these team events, when people are like, kind of screaming or like getting energized with, putting like, as kind of, most chess players are kind of introverts, so they need to relax and so on. But as a like physical sport, it's kind of the opposite, I would say. So it was a little bit different. But I think for me, it was something that I think it was just from the beginning. I didn't practice it.
That's so
So,
interesting. That's so interesting that you learn to control yourself, control your emotions, and not put pressure. Because oftentimes players do that, and sometimes you see them not being totally composed, especially if they have a tough game.
yeah.
They might just
Yeah.
go out and not want to talk to you, but it's
Yeah.
nice to hear that. And I
Yeah.
had the pleasure to interview a few times in St. Louis, and I remember you were always very composed too, even whether you won or lost. I didn't approach you when you lost because I know how I don't like to be approached, but
Mhm.
just the way your behavior is. Now I understand why.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, maybe like because everything is like you can compare it like it's like I can't say that I can't you know there is no pressure when you're playing a game, especially let's say if you're playing a game and you're under time pressure, right? So there is a pressure on you, but if you compare it to like most players, probably it's not as much as them. So yeah, but when you're playing, especially like under time pressure, or let's say if you're playing in an important event and you want to do good, I mean, there are some expectations or there are some pressure that you want to play well. But sometimes, the stress that you have can affect your games and so on. And like, I can't say that there are some occasions that I couldn't play my best because uh, I was stressed, but generally, I think I'm on the positive side.
I love that. I hope people learn from you. Maybe I can learn a few things too. And because
Thank you.
it's difficult. I mean, it's a sport in a way. It's in a competition. You're maybe not always just. I mean, after all, I think we are when we play chess in competition with ourselves a bit because although we're playing someone, but it's us that we have to be calm with ourselves so that we can be as objective as possible. And sometimes we're struggling with that, some of us. But and Atusa, talking about a lot of the success that you've had, there must have been a lot of hard work that you put into getting where you were, into being able to win all those competitions, maintaining your status as the strongest female player in Iran for many years. Can you share a little bit about the way you have trained as a kid, and in order to get those results? Can you share any
Yeah,
secrets?
sure. So probably I was one of those lucky chess players in Iran that I always had a chess coach, and they showed me like how to, practice chess. And I remember when I was a kid, when there was a gathering or there was a holiday, all kids, in the family would just go outside play or play video games and so on. But I had to, not I had to, but I wanted to also work on chess. Sometimes I had to, if I want to be honest, because I had a tournament and so on. But generally, yeah, I mean, I had some coaches, and I remember in Iran we had some. When I grew up, like when I was a teenager, there were some coaches from, you know, uh, like other countries
Mm-hmm.
who would come to Iran and, train us uh, for a week or sometimes months. And yeah, I think mostly when I was a kid, like tactics and calculation was really important. And then when I got to, I think, my international, like woman international master, then the opening um was more important and so on. But I would say I had like many chess coaches, so I was lucky enough to work with a lot of chess coaches and see their kind of approach. And I'm kind of flexible, to work with them.
I see. That's
Yeah.
very nice. Could you share how many hours approximately you are spending? In the United States, there's sometimes a tendency to think that if you that you don't need to work as much. So I want people to hear how much time everyone has put in order to reach the levels and the get to the achievements. So can you share some how many
Yeah,
hours?
sure. So I think, okay, I think, I mean, when I was a kid, I had a coach, I think, for a few years that I would work with him like twice a week at least for 3 hours. And he would come to our house and we would like practice chess for many years. Right now, I'm not practicing like every single day, although I usually look at the games, or if there is an important event, I usually look at the games and so on. But if I know that I have a tournament, so before the tournament, I usually practice a little bit more. Or if I'm like when I play a tournament, obviously I just prepare for my opponents and so on. But I think in chess, it's really important that when you are a kid, you get the information because you can absorb it much faster and you can remember it better. But when you get older, it's a little bit harder to, remember all those material. But you need to, still work before the tournament because it's like everything else. If you don't work for a few months or if you don't play for a few months, you can get rusty and your confidence is kind of going down. And even if you play the same level, you're gonna, spend too much time in your games because you don't have that much confidence, and then uh, you can just, lose an equal position or a winning position because of time pressure. So, like all the other sports, you need to be really active. You need to play tournaments or play online and stay sharp because, especially nowadays, I mean, the young generation, they just play, I think, 24/7 online. And with all the information, it's really easy to get the material to practice. And yeah, I think you need to like work harder, I think, compared to uh, even 10 years ago.
I totally agree with you. I think being able to be disciplined and putting in the time always, even some days when you are bored, you don't want to do it, you still have to try to force yourself to do a little bit, if right, because otherwise you lose track. You and I have grown up a bit in part of our upbringing. Computers were not so strong like they are these days. So you would say that a lot of your work that you were doing with the coaches was over the board, right?
Yes,
Mostly.
most of it was over the board. And to be honest with you, even nowadays, I prefer over the board better. I know that for a young generation, it looks, boring to them. And they would say, I have some friends, they would say, oh my God, how can you even like work on a chessboard? Because it's just, time consuming. It's easier to do it on a laptop or so on. But I really like to touch the pieces. I don't know why, but it's just me and I like to work over the board. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we got used to memorizing things over the board. When you make the move, it's just kind of like your brain connects to it. Sometimes these days I
Exactly.
feel
Yeah.
when you play online, it's just okay, mouse click, right click, check this line,
Yes.
check this other line, and but okay, generations change and people learn to adapt to different things, and I love in a way the fact that there's way more information now than when we grow up. The only thing that's needed is the time, which, as you mentioned, as we get older, we have different priorities. We don't have as much time to really put into it. So if they're, adults trying to improve, they need to make sure that they remember that putting in the time and looking at your progress over, a longer, period is something that you want to do, not expect that the result will come immediately. As for kids, I think they should try, as you said, to get as much information as they can so that they accumulate everything and just upgrade their knowledge. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's something is important to do, but it's not easy. But as you know, I love that you shared all the way you worked and how you spend time with the coach more than just 1 hour, and then you worked on your own too, because those are important things that people need to become aware of. That it just talent or not, it's the hard work and the time that helps someone achieve those
Yeah,
results.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, nowadays I know that when I like because I also sometimes teach chess and the lessons are usually 1 hour. But I remember back then my coach used to tell me that since you're playing game like for 3, 4 hours at least, that's why you need to practice the same way, because you need to keep your concentration for that long. You can't just have just 1 hour because if you're playing a classical game, okay, nowadays maybe Rapid and Blitz we have more
Sure.
tournaments, but I mean, if you want to play a classical game, so you need to also practice like for like more than an hour, like 3, 4 hours at least. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, no, that's a great point. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, that certainly helps. I like to add the importance of physical condition, like just doing something that
Yes,
you're passionate
absolutely.
about, right? To be able to have the
Yes,
energy to stay till the end.
exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Going back, but catching up to today, Atusa, tell me a little bit about what was the drive behind you coming to the United States and switching federations and representing the US. You actually did on your first team championship. I think it was 2013. You played. Not 23, sorry, 2023, you played in the women's team championship and you won, I think, silver medal, right?
Which
On
tournament?
board five, the women's the FIDE women's team championship
Oh, yes,
when you
in
came.
Poland. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So what
It
what was the
was, I
drive to
think,
come,
last
and
year, right?
it was
I
last
mean,
year?
okay, I immigrated to the States like a long time before, like maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
But I didn't switch my federation because I was going back and forth and so on. But then I saw that if I want to play chess, I can't do it because if I'm in Iran, I need to play in, for example, let's say Asian Championship, and then I'm here, and then I need to travel, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not like Europe that all the countries are like close to each other. I mean, I had a like 16, 17 hour flight, and it was just uh, really difficult and to travel and so
Mm-hmm.
on. So I just decided to switch to federation in 20. I think it was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
22 or
Yeah,
23 maybe. Yeah.
22. It was, I think, probably 2020, 2022. Yeah. So I played basically in two US championship as well. And yeah, then I started to play here. And I mean, before that, I played in open tournaments. in Los Angeles because that's what where I was traveling to. But in 2023, there was, a women world championship, team championship that I was part of the team, and uh, I was so lucky to be in the team, and I had a really great time in that event. That was my first time representing US in another country as a team. And yeah, we had a really good success. And we were so close to get to the medal,
Hmm.
bronze medal. But in my board, I got a silver medal. Yeah.
That's quite exciting. Playing in your first time for the team and being able to do well. I mean, I know it's of course it's a pity that the team didn't get a medal at the time, but still, like, just being able to know that you tried your best and supported your newly adopted, or team that adopted. I don't know how it sounds better to say, but I think it's exciting, right? Or
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, it was a great event. I mean, I don't know how to word it kind of, but because our team were just, it wasn't really a team,
Mhm,
so we could go out and walk and, and just talk about the games and just, laugh and have a good time. And it wasn't like intense.
mhm,
And that was something I really liked because sometimes, when you're playing in a team, it can be some jealousy
mhm.
inside the team, and you just play for yourself, not the team. And that was not the case at all. So everyone was enjoying their own games, but we were also one team that was really nice to see, and I think that's why we could also play better than our first ranking, basically.
I love to hear that. I know it's hard because chess technically, is an individual sport, but when you actually are playing for a team competition, you have to play your board, but also be on the look what the others are doing and just kind of be supportive because, it's not just, it doesn't become just about you, which is sometimes harder to get because it is technically an individual sport. But I also experienced that. I experience a really nice camaraderie and friendship in when I represented the US in women's world team or Olympiads in the past. So I think it's always nice to have that. And of course, the coach, we gotta mention Melik, right?
Yes,
Melik
yes, exactly.
is always
Yeah.
wonderful
Yes.
um to
Yeah, it's
talk
really
to.
positive and
Yeah.
yeah, good energy. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Well, awesome. And Atousa, so last year you decided to compete in the Women's Continental Championship. Tell me, how did you prepare for the tournament?
Yeah, this tournament actually, I wasn't aware of this tournament. Like, I think it was like 3 months or 2 months before the tournament because I remember I was playing the US Championship, and at the opening ceremony, they changed the deadline that we can decide
Mm-hmm,
if we want to play or not. So probably you know that because from the US Championship, we had two spots for the World Cup. And some people needed to know if you're in top two, so you don't need to probably play the Continental. And in the Continental Championship, there is just one spot, so only the champion of the this tournament could qualify for World Cup. So yeah, that's how I basically heard about Continental Championship, and I kind of really wanted to go there because first of all, I've never been to South America,
Hmm.
never. So that was the first reason. And the second reason I said, okay, I played in, Asian continental many times, so I need to try at least even you know, just one time. So yeah, I just decided to play there, and I had a really good time there as well. As for preparation, I mean, there wasn't anything like special. Like it was kind of the same thing that I usually do. I look at my openings if there is something, I'm missing, or if there is an update I need to, study. I just try to study my openings and do some calculations. But also before that tournament, I played US Championship. I mean, it didn't go my way, but I had a lot of good games as well, but I couldn't like finish it the way I wanted to. But basically, I had a like tough tournament as well before the Continental. So I think when you're playing a difficult tournament, it's kind of like a very good practice before the tournament. So I think that helped too.
It's interesting. Yeah, like I think as chess players, if we have a bad tournament, we have the tendency to want to immediately play again to kind of not redeem ourselves, but are you like that?
Yeah, I understand. Yes, exactly. So one example is that, for example, if you lose the game and the next day is a free day or a, rest day, you don't want that because
That's
you
true.
want to go to the rest day with a win usually. Yeah, I can feel that. But I think in the US Championship, I think I played better than the first time I played, but still I needed some more work because uh, there is a I don't know if you because did you play in Romanian Championship
No,
before? No?
somehow
Okay.
I did not. I won all the youth championships every year. I would
Okay.
get, gold, but I never played for some reason. I left Romania quite early when I was 19, and somehow, just they never happened at the right time. So my parents
You
would
couldn't.
choose, yeah, they would choose some open
Okay.
tournaments instead, or I had school for a while. I was
Oh,
quite
I see.
focused on trying to
Mm.
do both, and so I never that was gonna be my follow-up question, so I'm glad you brought it up
Mhm.
about how you compare, playing in Iran and then
Yeah,
coming
it was
here, so
totally
many young.
different.
Yeah, tell me a little
Yeah, it
bit
was
about it.
totally different. I don't know what it is exactly, but I can see that when I play in the US Championship, it's just harder. I don't know if I think like that, and maybe I don't have enough experience because I didn't grow up in this environment before, or if that is the truth that because the tournament has a higher prices
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of on stake, so all the chess players are basically fighting so hard to get to the top. And as we know, I mean, chess, especially for women, is not something that you can get an easy life if you are not in top. So there are a couple of tournaments in the US that you want to play in those tournaments and you want to do good if you want to go higher. And I think US Championship is one of those. And I heard that even like all the chess players from all over the world, they really appreciate that US players, we have this like prestigious tournament in the US with this prize money that is really nice. And I think all 12 players, they just want to, like win against you. So they don't care what your rating is, they don't scare, they just want to win. So that is kind of different because when I played in Iran, okay, I was, top seeds most of the times, and there was another, I think, uh, there was another atmosphere, I would say, or I knew that I'm gonna, for example, win a game, but this is not the case here, so I need to fight harder. So I think that's the problem. I don't know if it's me or that's true that, everyone is just fighting harder.
There's definitely a lot of great points that you made. Yeah, like as a female player, it's really, really hard to, I think, to make a living unless you are at the top or you do a few other things on the side, like coaching, maybe commentary, streaming, and other things. If you want chess related, of course. So that's always the kind of tournament you want to be invited to, and you want to do well. And also, having played in that, and when it started in 2009, and coming to these years, it's the age of the players is getting lower and lower. The average age.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
do you
Yeah.
feel at all any pressure, any more stress that you're playing someone younger, and or you're able to maintain the calmness you've shared with me a bit earlier?
I think I don't get stressed if I play against a younger player. I'm totally fine with it because I mean, it's just something normal, in all sports when, you can't just stay in top forever. So the youngest are just coming and they are just practicing more. They're, like more hungry. They want to win and so on. But one thing that I noticed is that when you're playing against the younger player, as the like game continues to like last a little bit longer, they maintain their energy much better. And uh, I mean, I could basically feel it when I was younger. When people used to, say that if you're young, you can just, maintain your focus for a long time. I couldn't probably understand. I could hear, but I couldn't understand. But now, since I experienced it myself, I can easily understand that if you are playing in a tournament, it's really important to be, physically prepared as well. Because especially for these tournaments that last like for 2 weeks and every day you need to practice and play for 10 hours at least. I mean, it's not that easy, so you need to have a really good body and like strong body that you can just think and maintain your concentration throughout the tournaments.
I agree with you. And Atusa, you also mentioned that you're doing a bit of coaching, or you were. And I know you also have a YouTube, and you stream occasionally too, which we
Yes.
will make sure to post those links in the description so that people can click and go follow you. Tell
Sure.
me
Sure.
which one would you rather do more if you could choose, like getting to play more, or doing, like the coaching or
Um, Actually, I like to play chat if I want to like prioritize them. I would probably choose playing first because I like to play. But streaming and making YouTube videos, I think there are also two different things, even though okay, both of them are kind of something online, but it's a little bit different, and both of them have their own like uh, advantages and disadvantages. So when you stream, you can connect to your audience like much easier. But of course, you cannot edit your videos like YouTube. And if you want to
you
do
can delete
YouTube,
them. You can delete them if you don't like something. They'll never see it again.
yes, exactly. So you need to be really like in the moment, and you cannot like get distracted,
Hmm.
you know. Especially if you look at like top streamers. Okay, I'm not talking about just chess streamers. You need to be really entertained, and you need to really engage with your audience. But for YouTube, I would say you need to have a team, and unfortunately, I don't have many, people working for me. So I usually have someone, to make thumbnails for me, and I edit my videos myself. So it is a little bit time consuming for me. But yeah, I like both of these, and I like coaching as well. I mean, it's been, I think, more than 7 years that I teach chess, basically like in a serious way. And I have some students, so every week I have, you know, my lessons, and that is also enjoyable because most of my students are kids, and working with kids, their energy and their positivity in life is something that we adults need to learn, I think. So that's really good too.
That's true. We have to relearn to be positive. I always try to smile or make some jokes when I teach kids, and I get teased a lot by my accent. I don't know if you do or not, but they like to tease me if I say some word like tempo, for example. This is one more recent that I
Oh,
remember. They tease me like, "No, that's not how you say it. I didn't understand what you said." And then
really?
I
Okay,
make a joke.
interesting.
I used to get a bit, like, what do you mean? Of course I have an accent, but I just
Mm.
love because these days I actually follow what the advice that you're giving. I try to be teaching in a positive and no, serious, but having some jokes occasionally because it just reminds us of the beauty of chess and the way the idea of using it as a means to make our life more beautiful and more cheerful. Even if occasionally we have those tough moments, I think we should
Yes,
try to
exactly.
be.
Exactly. Yeah. Because also, like most of my students are online, and it's not that easy. Even for an hour, it's not that easy that you just focus on chess like 100%. So I think if you like joke here and there and you have a good time, they can actually observe the material better. So
Hmm.
I try to like even sometimes you can, I sometimes, make a joke and something like that. And I think it's more interesting for them, especially the kids, because all they want is to play.
Hmm.
And whenever I teach them, they usually like ask me, okay, when are we going to play,
Same.
So,
Same.
so they like that part, uh, much better. So it's the same thing, I think, as an adult. Usually, I don't know, for me, if I play, I like it more than I practice. So I think it's kind of the same thing. But if you don't practice, probably you're not going to have a, very good game. So yeah, it's just hand to hand. So yeah,
Totally agree with you on that part. I enjoy playing quite a lot, but I haven't been working for a few years on my chess, and my rating dropped a lot. And I realized that if I don't do something about it, it's only gonna be a downhill trend for me. So I'm trying to make sure I find enough time to work. We have
yeah,
to,
it is really, it is, yeah, it is really hard. Even because in chess, even if you have, for example, a rating like let's say you're 2300, if you don't work, you're not gonna like you're not gonna keep that rating, and that's the problem. Uh, so yeah, so basically, in order to maintain your rating, you need to work. So it's just hard.
That's true. These days,
Yeah,
especially more because kids, there's a lot of information, as we said, online, and if they actually stay and study it,
exactly.
you can't catch them with
Yeah,
an opening anymore.
yeah,
You have to
yeah.
even end games. Now they know better. They know
Yeah,
plans.
exactly.
It just
Exactly. And with the rating difference, right? When I started to play chess, the base of the rating was 2000 and now
yes,
it's
I remember.
1400 or I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Yeah.
think so. Because I
Or
remember I almost
1200.
went
Yeah.
off the lists because I had about like really low 2000 when I first got my
Mm-hmm.
rating. Maybe I was 12 or something like that, or 11.
Mm-hmm.
I got about
Yeah.
2000, and then I had a bad tournament. And my, you know what was my lucky thing for me was that I was playing often with my parents in France. So somehow
Hmm.
FIDE made a mistake, and they created a second Sabina Foyshore. So there
Oh,
was
wow.
one playing for Romania, one for France. One of them was
Oh
winning
my God.
rating, the other one was losing. So
That's so
we emailed
funny.
them. We explained
Wow.
to them, listen, there's a mistake, something, and they fixed it. They made the average. So that was kind of what kept my rating. I got lucky a bit, and they were like, okay, we'll
Mhm.
make the average, and then they dropped that, and my rating started going up. So I didn't risk it.
Right.
But
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah,
But stretch, yeah.
it was funny.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Atousa, you won the Continental Championship, so congratulations once again from that. And I know you
Thank you
have a
so much.
game,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to share this game with the viewers. Tell me a little bit about this game we're going to see,
Sure.
and when it was played, and your mindset and everything.
Yes, exactly. So this game was I believe, the penultimate round of this tournament. So, um, in this tournament, we had like double rounds every other day. So this was the basically evening round, and Zoe is a strong and a talented chess player that she even won I think, if I'm not mistaken, her state championship.
I think she became a
Like
woman
among,
grandmaster
yeah,
recently or
she
something.
became also a woman grandmaster as well, and she was really strong. Okay, she's studying. Probably she's not working on her chess uh, that much, but I mean her rating is 2300, and uh, I think she gained a lot of ratings like the last 2, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So very talented girl, and she's not playing that much, I think, internationally, mostly in the US. But going to this round, I knew that I'm playing someone who's much younger than me, so I need to be really focused. And if I want to win the tournament, I had to win this game. Uh, the um, the morning round uh, of this tournament, I mean, on this day, I played against Daisy Corey, who's a great chess player from Peru, and she was higher rated than me, and I could beat her. So I had some basically chances to win the tournament. But Zoe was, I think, 1 point or half a point. I think half a point, actually, half a point. Um, she had half a point more than me, so I needed to really win this game, and we had just one game left after this basically round. So I had white pieces. Yeah, I started with e4. She played c5. I wasn't sure what she's gonna play, and we didn't have that much time to prepare. So I just wanted to um, get a position that I can play on, and it's not that, theory based.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. So knight f3, knight c6. And here, okay, I didn't want to play d4, which is my usual line, so I
There's a
played
lot
bishop
of theory
e5.
there, especially. So, by the way, for just
Exactly.
to mention, because I'm not showing the names, but this game
Mhm.
you played with the white pieces against woman grandmaster
Exactly.
now Zoe Tang. She's very
Exactly.
talented. I've seen her. I think she even won the juniors, maybe, or very close to winning, and she's competed in US Championship.
Yes, yes, exactly. She had a like phenomenal year, or like last 2 years. I think she's very young. I don't know if she's 16,
I think
17.
so.
She's very young. And she's 2300, very young, talented girl, and she was basically winning all of her games
Yeah, I was following the
so easily.
tournament. Yeah, I remember because I
So,
was
yeah,
following, and then I saw that she was playing, and there got a few Americans actually. You won the championship at 9.5, and I think Zoe and Talia Cervantes shared second place, right? They got
exactly. Yes,
two
exactly.
strong, and Zoe one of them, and Talia also very strong
Yes, exactly. Yes,
American player.
exactly. Yeah, they're very talented and very young, I mean, with bright future. But when you play chess, you need to try your best. So you never know when you get your chances.
Right. And
So you
take
want to just
everything away. Who not, I don't know if you do this, but when I teach, I tell my students, take away the external factors. Forget who's in front of you, because if you let that affect you too much, if there's anything negative you feel towards your opponent in any way, I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but in case there is, it's gonna affect you psychologically. So you want to try to avoid
exactly. Yeah.
those.
I mean, you want to try,
Yeah.
as much as you can. You can't do it like 100%, but if you do it like 90%, 80%, I mean, that's wonderful. You can, because there is a pressure. I remember when I was playing this game, even though, okay, I mentioned earlier that I am relaxed, I was not that relaxed during this game because uh, there was something in back of my mind that I wanted to win this tournament
Mm-hmm.
because I was the Asian champion before and I
Yes.
wanted to be an American. So I don't know actually if anyone had like two continental champion like became a champion in two different continents. So I really wanted to win this tournament. But at the same time, I didn't want this to affect my games.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's
so
something to
yeah.
fight for. It's a motivational factor, but yeah, you have to try to not think about it during the game, of course, because the
Yes,
more you think,
exactly.
the harder it is, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. It came just backwards. Yeah.
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 So did
So
she
yeah, yeah,
lose?
play bishop b5, and I don't think she was prepared against me, but I think
Mm-hmm.
she knew the line.
Mm-hmm.
So I think her openings are really good. So she knew, yeah. So she played e6, and she's also a chess player who usually plays fast.
Mm-hmm.
So most of her opponents were in time trouble. I could see her games, like because we would usually like sit next to each other. So yeah, she tended to play fast, and yeah, so she played. I think the first time she started to think, okay, so e6 castle, yeah, knight g7, rook e1,
I like
yeah,
this idea
b6,
always
exactly.
to get
So
her.
I cleared that square, yeah, for the bishop. She played b6, and I
I was
think this
surprised
was
when I
for
saw your
me.
game, by the way, Atousa, that she played b6,
Mhm.
right? Like, because most people play a6, b5, right, in these positions, or
Yes, exactly. So a6, b5
oh,
is
sorry.
kind of a normal approach. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, to have a bit more space because you're obviously gonna attack her, so black needs to maybe, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but I think she prepared B6 because I think she didn't do we have the time
Yeah, yeah,
here?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so she has 1 hour and 32.
Yeah,
So she
she
prepared
done
this that
fast.
yeah. So she played fast because I think she wanted to just surprise me. And okay, I played C3. Yep, A6. Bishop f1. Yeah, probably I could have also played bishop a4, but I chose to play bishop f1.
Ah, to bring it to
Yeah,
c2.
here bishop a4 to c2.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, so yeah, so d5, e5. Yeah, because I thought that if I take the pawn d5 or like stay there, so yeah, she can just take back and it's an easy game for black, and that's what I needed to avoid because
Maybe
she
takes
needed
either.
to draw. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to win, so I didn't want to go for a like simple position. So that's why I played
That's a
e5.
great advice, and I love that you said that because, of course, when you play, you always want to win, but you have to be objective, but also you have to
Exactly,
try to make decisions, especially because you're down half a point, kind of, you're behind her half a point. You want to
exactly.
have the chances. You don't want to go crazy to,
Yes. Hmm.
win, but you want to have some chances. So you want to find some imbalanced position, not one that
Exactly.
has it too
Exactly.
symmetrical. Even
Exactly.
yeah.
So exactly. So basically, in chess, if you're in such positions, you usually want to get a position that is playable and your opponent um has some room to make a mistake. Because if you
Yes.
simplify the position too much, I mean, it's much easier for your opponent to play. I mean, Yeah, so that's why you don't want to simplify the position that much. Yeah, so it's better to play probably with more pieces on the board.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah,
And close positions are always tricky. And if you want some example, go study the King's Indian, because the King's Indian, you never know
exactly.
what's happening. Black is attacking your
Exactly.
king, you go the other way.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Even
a
with the engines are
right.
not that easy to like understand what's going
I agree. I tried a few times. I thought I knew what I'm doing, and I was trying to
on.
teach, and then the engine suddenly switched in my great explanation to I was trying to teach a student and analyze in the same time, which I don't usually do, but when they ask you last minute, you don't have time. So I remember I did that once, and then the engine went from +1 suddenly to dropped to 0, and I was like, "What? I didn't do
Oh,
anything
wow.
wrong. It's just like I just made the
Yeah,
normal
yeah.
move I was following." And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yep, you're absolutely right. Yeah, so D3 here, and I need to open up the bishop. So bishop B7. Yeah, so the point here is that the pawn on E5 is a little bit kind of, I don't know, we call it kind of
Weak
like a
or
double sword,
uh-huh.
because it can be strong, it can be also weak, because okay, it gains a lot of space, so black doesn't have enough space, but at the same time, it can be a weakness as well.
Right.
So yes, exactly. So after pushing the pawn to E5, it clear E4 square for my knight, yeah, for my pieces, and so on. But where does, for example, black want to put her knight on E7? So it's a little bit, because black has a choice. Black can play knight G6 or knight F5 or knight D5. It's not that easy to, find the right move. And when we have more options, we need to think, longer, and, there are more chances to go wrong. So yeah,
So you decided to go C4 here to take this away from her and kind of
exactly,
stabilizing the position and then figure out your development further.
exactly, exactly. Yes.
And this
Hmm.
also gives you a
Because
few extra ideas for attack on the king side, mostly.
Yes, because I also saw that if I don't play C4, she can also take on C3, and then my pawn on D3 can, be a weakness, and then she can just move the knight to D5, and whenever I play C4, then I have a weakness on D4.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that I need to play C4 and to cover this D5 square and take that square away from the knight.
And then she decided to start putting pressure. But you had to choose probably between C4 and bishop F4, right? Because like normally you want to
Yes.
put the bishop
Bishop
here,
F4.
right?
Yes, exactly. But I also wanted to kind of maybe exchange my dark square bishops and get a position, for example, when the knight can land on d6. Because, okay, if I can, for example, exchange the dark squared bishops,
Mm-hmm.
then my knight can move to d6 maybe. So, like some ideas, and it's harder for black to play f6 because if you look at this position, okay, how does black want to have a pawn break? Probably one is f6, one is b5. But even if she plays b5, I think I can just play b3, or even if I take, I don't think I'm worse on the queen side. So probably she wants to play f6. And when you exchange the dark square bishops, it's harder if I, for example, put the knight on e4. So yeah, I mean, it's not an easy position. Of course, I mean, my pieces also uh, are not, they don't have like enough space.
Mm-hmm.
It's a close position. So that's why you need to have a, slower approach and just improve your position, step by step. I mean, we can't just have a winning position. Yeah,
Yeah, improve the position of your pieces. I mean, you have to eventually take them somewhere. So you
exactly,
you do it slowly. You make sure you don't drop something, especially because she has pressure here. So
exactly. Yeah.
you started by restricting her knight, right, with G3 here,
Yes, exactly.
Queen
Yep. So I
C7.
played G3 because also my bishop on F1 didn't have a square.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I'm opening up that bishop on B7. But, with the pawn on G3 and the knight on G6, she always have a problem with the knight on G6. And later on, I might think about a move like h4 and
Mm-hmm.
h5 and attack the king side. So I think g3, has some purpose
Yeah,
here.
also in the French, knight in g6 usually invites this h4, h5 idea,
Exactly.
which is
Yes,
nice.
absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
I like with this square super well controlled, I don't think you should worry as much probably about the diagonal because she cannot get the queen to d5 that easily.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
takes some time to
To
bring to
like make it
c6.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That is true. So yeah, queen c7, putting pressure on e5, queen e2 to protect it, bishop e7, so all normal. Then I play bishop g2, yeah, castle, and then I play h4
Did you
here.
feel good when she castled here? Did you feel like, well, she shouldn't castle on this side of the board because I'm obviously going to attack her? Or I
Yeah,
didn't check long castle. I'm just asking. I'm not even sure if this is this an option or
yes.
probably not.
Actually, I was surprised that she castled, and I think she didn't also spend that much time, right? How
Mm-hmm.
long
Yeah,
did she
two
think?
minutes, less
Like
than two
just two
minutes.
minutes, yeah. So yeah, that was because it's kind of like a commitment when you cast a
Mm-hmm.
short. You know that your king is there and you can get attacked on the king side. Yeah, so but the point is it's not an easy position for like both sides. I think like there are some ideas like f6 or b5. Um but long castle I can also play a3 b4, I can also open that side as well.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah,
I mean,
probably
probably
keeps the king in
yeah,
the center, I guess, huh?
yeah. But computer suggestion is h5. But as a as a human, actually, I don't like this move because you always like like g5 becomes weak, kind
Mm-hmm.
of. But I think it's not. It's kind of like a computerish move,
Yeah.
h5,
It's
and I can
always
play h4.
tricky.
Yeah,
It's always tricky this
yeah,
move because in Karukan you do it too, and white plays h4 and you play h5 and you stay there, and
exactly,
you never know like which is gonna take advantage of the other h
exactly,
pawn first. So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
but
but yeah.
mostly based on the pawn structure, probably b5 because f6. I know you said it, but I just feel like it's gonna be so hard for
Yeah,
people to
F6 is
defend.
hard. Yeah, yeah, because the pawn on E6 and probably she needs to like, I don't know, regroup her pieces and so on. But I knew that the way she was playing like the tournament, she usually used uh like logic she would just play logical moves like without too much thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And she usually like didn't want to like complicate the position, but of course she knew when to stop and pause and think about the position in critical moments. I saw her games like couple of games, and she started to think a little bit longer um, in critical moments. And that is, I think, very important in chess because you usually don't want to think like for every single move because then you're going to be in time trouble. So realizing that what position is critical and you need to, spend time on that move is also very important, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's sometimes it's hard because we feel
Yeah,
we especially if you're the kind of player that likes to calculate. I think you would spend more time on every position,
exactly.
not realizing what's the moment. So learning those critical
Exactly.
moments is important.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I bet you were excited here after she castled. You're like, I can go h4 and I have a
Yes,
plan.
I should. Yes, exactly. Yeah, but I still wasn't sure that I'm better or what's going on. I just wanted to, not get into time trouble. That was one thing. And also just not blunder.
Mm-hmm.
So that was two things in my mind, like playing in this game. So yeah, I play h4. So there is no like risk
Mm-hmm.
out of h4. I know that, I usually tell my students that you don't want to push your pawns in front of the king. They're supporting your king and so on. But this is different because there are a lot of pieces like protecting the king and the pawn structure cannot be attacked. So
Right.
I think it's totally fine.
And you can always tell them long term, you gotta think long term. This is the kind of pawn structure that's nice to have because in a rook endgame, let's say, this is the way you want
Hmm.
your pawns placed. You want the lower
Exactly.
base of the chain closer to the center so he can help
Oh
someone.
yeah, that's actually a good point.
That's what
Okay,
I
I
started
never thought
telling them.
about that.
That's what I started
Okay.
telling them because like one
Oh,
time I had to push the F pawn and then
uh-huh.
I my king never got out and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna start teaching my students if I go H4,
Mhm.
it's not as bad as it seems. So
I see.
yeah, you
Okay,
can.
okay, that's a nice way of looking at it. Yeah, okay, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
Yeah, as
the
long as you
king is
don't go
closer to the.
further if it's not necessary, you can. Yeah.
Yes, yes, exactly. Because in many like endings, you want to have your pawn on h4, g3,
Right,
f2, right?
right.
Even if you're playing, for example, let's say rook versus bishop, you have this pawn
Still
structure
good. Yeah,
again. You
yeah.
want to, yeah, 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 yeah.
Queens,
That
it
makes
works
sense.
in queens also. It's pretty
Exactly.
good. So
Yes,
yeah, long
yes,
term. I mean, it
exactly.
doesn't mean you will get long term, but at least you have thought through.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
And did you feel when she played H5, did you feel that it seemed like it's gonna
Mm.
be a mistake in a way, like a weakness, because castle and
No,
H5?
because I thought that she either moves the rook
Mm-hmm.
and clear that square for
Ah,
the
this one. Mm-hmm.
for yeah, because now I want to play h5. The knight on g6 doesn't have a square. I mean, she could move the bishop to d8, but then after knight is yeah, but
Yeah,
knight
it's
h8.
sad.
Yeah,
Very sad. I
I
just
remember
wanted to show
I
that it's
yeah,
sad.
exactly. This is not a great square unless if I know when I was a kid I saw a game, I think it was from Anatoly Karpov when he moved the knight to h1 and then to f2 or something like that
Mm-hmm.
to,
Yeah.
guard the pawn. There's a famous, game. And but this is not the case here because
Right.
from h8 I mean, you can't go to f7. So yeah, that doesn't make sense to go
Yeah, I
h8.
think the
So
game you're talking about it's in some King's Indian and yeah King's Indian because there's the line with 92 G3 that knight ends up like that, but maybe that's not it. But I've seen some
yeah,
games like that.
yeah, I think I don't, to be honest, I don't remember exactly the opening, but I remember that when I was a kid, I was shown this game that okay, because h1 or h8 is not a square you
Yeah,
usually think about
yeah,
for your knights, but sometimes if you want to maneuver your pieces, then it's fine. Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah. But
h5,
even F8, yeah, as you say, rook move, maybe rook D8, rook C8. I'm not even sure. B8, and
yeah,
then knight
because I had
F1.
h5 and then h6,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I mean, okay, I'm not winning, but yeah, but here I have like bishop g5, and then I can maybe work on dark squares here.
Yeah, get your queen to F4
Yeah,
somehow.
and this position is much easier to play as white, so than as black, because white has a like straightforward plan, but black needs to find the defense.
True.
Yeah, so she played h5. Yeah,
And
and then I played knight d2.
you went for your improvement. This is a very typical idea in a closed
Exactly.
French Sicilian stuff.
Exactly. So I couldn't play knight e4 obviously because the pawn e5 hangs.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed to get the knight to f1. I calculated some lines to sacrifice that pawn on e5, but it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
So I played knight f1 instead. Because also from f1, I wasn't sure where I'm going, but
Right.
I thought, okay, maybe I go knight h2 and then I play g4 in this position. But at least I need to open up that bishop on c1 as well. And the knight is much better than f1 than d2 if it wants to stay there. So yeah.
And here it seemed that she wasn't quite sure what she had to do based on the moves that she made. She didn't try to break through with b5 or she
Exactly,
was kind of
exactly. So, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, she didn't want to risk it, in her games. She usually went for like logical moves, but not something that is risky. And she would just play fast and just put pressure on her opponents. So that was her approach that I saw from her previous games. So that's why I also didn't want to get into time trouble. But also, this was an evening game, which means that we were kind of both tired, but probably I was t more tired than her because she was, younger than me. And, yeah, so I think bishop a8 probably wants to clear that square for the queen, maybe in future, and
mm-hmm.
also bishop on b7 doesn't uh, have protection, but an a8 is protected by the
Right.
rook. Yeah.
In some cases, if the knight
Yeah,
moves,
if
yeah.
the knight takes on e5 or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, bishop g5. I
All right.
wanted to exchange the bishops.
Of course, she's not
Also
going
after
to.
bishop takes, yeah, also after bishop takes g5, knight takes g5. I mean, the pawn on h5 cannot be protected,
Mm-hmm.
so queen h5 is coming. And this is, yeah, because knight takes e5, queen h5, and then, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. Wait, which knight? This one probably.
Yeah, but probably either one I'm going to take on h5 now.
Do you take here
Queen
for? I don't know.
h5. Probably I can take on a8 as well,
Yeah.
but yeah. But I mean, white is
Yeah.
much
Then
better.
you
I
have
mean, you win a
h5.
pawn. Exactly. Yeah,
So now it was
yeah,
time to do something because your knight is stuck and you
exactly.
got most of your
So
pieces out and you went g4. I like that.
yes. So I think if I wanted to like open up the position, that was the time, because otherwise she could also start attacking on the queen side, maybe with b5 and so on. So I just wanted to
To be
attack
the first, yeah.
first. Exactly. G4, she takes G4, knight takes G4.
And now it's hard to find a defense for black because you still want h5, h6, and so
Exactly. And the
she.
knight moves to f6 and so on. Yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
think she found the nice move, bishop e7. Yes, which was really impressive because she didn't think here that much, right? She played
Yeah.
quite
Maybe she
fast
felt
with.
now her pawn is traded and your queen is blocked from coming to h5. Maybe now it's fine to trade the bishop or something. And probably if you
Exactly.
go h5, maybe she takes and takes an e5
Yeah, but
or no.
also she can take knight f4, no?
But if takes, maybe you take in g6.
Oh, you want to take on g6?
Uh, I'm
Bishop takes
I don't
g5,
know.
h takes
You think
g6.
maybe? Maybe not. Maybe. Oh, maybe
I don't
not.
know. Maybe bishop somewhere, bishop f4. Because I was thinking if she keeps, or I don't know, if bishop f4 does get trapped, right, with queen
Yeah,
e4
maybe
or
queen
not.
e4. Yeah.
Queen e4,
Yeah,
knight
queen
e5, but
e7
it's
maybe.
really tricky.
It is.
I
Yeah.
had knight takes e5 though, because queen f4, knight takes f3 check.
Oh,
So in that
that's
line,
true.
yeah,
Okay.
so it was a little bit tricky. And the
Yeah.
point here is that I exposed my own king, and she
Mm-hmm.
wanted to exchange more pieces. And if I exchange like two, three minor pieces, then my attack is not that strong.
But maybe you can take
Yeah,
like
but
this. It is
knight
probably much better.
f4. Doesn't she have knight f4 here, or oh, do I have knight f6 after knight f4? I know, I thought knight f4 she has.
Knight f4 here. Can you go queen e4?
Yeah. Queen e4. Okay, but is that a check? I mean, knight takes g2, check, king f8.
Well, I want knight f6 at some point. I don't know when. Maybe it doesn't work.
Knight f6, king f8. Yeah, it was kind of risky.
So wait. So let's try it because it looks
Knight
nice.
takes,
Ah, but
knight
I
f
can't make two moves at once, can I? It's okay.
king
I'm
f8.
gonna be aggressive. I'm gonna be aggressive. Can I?
Okay, so
Does it work?
yes. So let's say, one second. So knight takes e5 or knight d8. But where is the checkmate? So for example, let's
There's
say
no
if,
checkmate if you take. I don't. No,
wait
no,
a
no.
second.
There is. I take. Yes. Does it work?
Wait, but can't I take on
You can take
f6?
it. Oh my god. Do I not have it?
I mean,
Can I
it's
do check and something?
check e7.
Uh,
I don't know. I I
I
think black
think,
is okay, no?
yeah, black seems okay. I was just trying to be fancy, but okay, so queen h7 doesn't work then, maybe.
Yeah. But also, maybe if you like analyze this position with computer
Mm-hmm.
finds the right way to win, like with, 10 move calculation and so
Oh,
on.
sure,
But
yeah.
since I was playing as white and I was the one who had the initiative, I didn't want to, risk it. And like if I make one mistake in such positions, I can
Yeah,
also lose the game.
exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it can go either way. So yeah, that's why I didn't want to.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And also like your times are pretty, yeah. You're right. It's very
exactly.
unclear. You have to really spend a lot of time.
Yeah,
So you have the
yeah,
choice. Do you spend a
exactly.
lot of time and maybe you find something or, so I
Yeah.
see you didn't spend as much, like five
Yeah, I
moves
just
and
wanted to keep the tension
yeah.
here. So if she takes, okay, I can just take it even, I don't know, with the pawn. And yeah, so she played queen d8 here.
And
Okay.
now you can do it because there's no stuff with
Yeah,
knight
it's
f4.
protected.
Very nice.
Exactly.
See, I
Yeah,
think that's a great approach because sometimes we spend so much time we calculate and calculate and calculate and we can't find anything, and we have the
exactly.
tendency to just stay there and
Yeah. Yeah,
instead
tell
of
me about it. I have a lot of games like that I was so winning and I started to think a lot. And even though I find the right move, right line, but you don't have enough time to just finish it off. So yeah, I
yeah.
mean, time is just very important,
It,
I
it
think
is.
that,
It
yeah,
is. When you're at home and you analyze stuff, you can stay as much as you want. In the past, I was
exactly.
staying. But at the
Yep.
game, you gotta remind yourself, wait a second.
Yeah.
I gotta go back to, and you still need
Yeah.
to calculate that new thing that you see, because you know
Yeah.
what I do
Exactly.
sometimes, I calculate, I can't find, and I see some random move and I make it. I've done that so many times.
Yes, exactly.
And
Yeah, or yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I know the feeling. Yeah.
yeah, it's a normal move, let's just make it. Oh my god, I can't believe I spent so much time. But yeah, you need to make sure that
Yeah.
you're good about it. So now you were like,
Absolutely.
it's time to go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise, I think she wanted to take on h4, right? Knight takes
Yeah,
h4
yeah,
was a
yeah,
move.
yeah.
So
That's a
yeah,
nice x-ray there.
exactly. So
And
I
she
had
still
to.
played it, and
But
now you need to decide how to trade.
yeah, exactly. So here I wanted to exchange. I wanted to keep my knights here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I saw some lines that, for example, like bishop takes h4, bishop takes h4. And then knight takes h4, and then queen f4, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, or rook e4,
To
or
try
knight
some
f6.
fancy.
Yeah, or even like knight f6, check first, take rook e4. I calculate
She can probably take the
quite
pawn, right?
well. Yes, you can take the pawn, there is no attack there.
Yeah. It looks
So, I mean,
nice.
yeah.
This is a
Yes,
moment you can
exactly.
spend a lot of time, like we were saying
Exactly.
earlier. Because you want to make it
Exactly.
fancy, and then you're like, oh, there's nothing fancy about this. I need to.
Exactly.
But this looks nice.
And
And like you're bringing a new piece into the game, and right? Or.
exactly. And now I have this idea to take the bishop and play knight f6
Mm-hmm.
check, discovered attack. But also I think I spent a lot of time on this move because I think I had like 23 minutes
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
I have 11 minutes here. Okay, she had 24 minutes. So first I wanted to play h6, I think. I was calculating this move as well because also it looks natural to, uh, like exchange that pawn g7 and try to expose the king.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
she played
but
g6
then
or.
yeah, but g6 then
Oh,
I
knight
play
f
queen
taken knight
e4, queen
f6.
f4 now. Maybe I was thinking because now if I play queen f4, maybe I have like h7 idea check,
Mm.
like if she takes, I take on f7. Yeah, but also I have the same idea. I like to take the bishop. So yeah, but I
Did she
thought,
do the
okay,
same thing as in the game or?
F5, yeah. Oh, actually, yes. I looked at F5. Actually, yeah. Actually, now you reminded me.
I
Thank you. So
I
I saw
just
this line.
I saw she played it and I was like, let's try it.
Yes. Yes. So then I felt like I can take on G7 and then she takes my knight and then I play Queen H6. And,
Ooh.
she takes my knight. I can check and then play Queen H7, but she has Rook G8, something like
Uh-huh.
that. And then I thought that, okay, it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Because I needed a rook,
Well,
in this position.
yeah, and this is not gonna be
But
enough. It's just the
probably,
check she
yeah,
runs.
the king can escape or something. There are a lot of actually candidate moves here that I could just think about them
Mm-hmm.
and calculate. But okay, I didn't have enough time, so I just played queen f4 to keep my basically
Yeah,
threats.
all options still
Exactly.
there. And now after
Yeah.
f5, it probably. Yeah, like it's a pity that I think probably en passant is not working so great for you, right? Because
Yeah, and Basal, I think bishop
bishop
takes.
takes. Yeah.
And knight takes, queen takes, and she's happy to exchange,
Mm-hmm.
pieces and exchange the queens. Um, yeah. But here I think instead of f5, maybe I thought about bishop e7 as well, and I thought after bishop e7 I'm going to play h6 then. Um, Yeah, probably I can play h6 here. But yeah, so my queen is,
Mm-hmm. Similar
closer to the
ideas as
attack.
before.
Exactly, exactly. So she played a 5. Um,
You took.
yeah, I took
And she
here.
has to take on
Oh,
g4 because otherwise you have your knight f6.
exactly. Yep, or knight h6. Yeah.
But now it just
So
looks
I
good
took
for white because, out of your attack, you're up a pawn. So in case
exactly.
nothing happens, you have at least a pawn.
Exactly. Yes. That's exactly the point. And but here I have 11 minutes. Okay, she still has like 21 minutes, like 10 minutes more than me.
What was the time control? Did you get an additional time at 40 moves or?
Uh, n- no, actually, I don't think
Okay.
so. So we had just one
You have
time
to.
control.
I see.
Yeah,
Just the
yeah. So
increment.
that's why it was also more important not to get into time trouble. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So she played knight b4, I believe, to attack d3 and exchange the bishops, which makes
Yeah.
sense.
If you get the bishop there, probably the mate was coming in.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That was my idea. H6, bishop e4. And yeah, so here I play h6, threatening queen takes g7, checkmate, queen d7 protects the pawn. And then here I took the
Yeah.
bishop to just,
Yeah.
force the
Trade.
rook
You're
to
you're
go
up
to a,
material.
yeah, because okay, the rook is worse on a8 probably. And then I play rook e4
You
to
wanted
get
to
my
make
other
this
rook
move
into.
for a long time. You wanted
Yes,
to. I know from the
exactly.
beginning when you played e5, I knew you were gonna want to bring a piece there. So
Exactly. That was a dream.
yeah. And she can't
Yeah.
take this pawn,
Mhm.
probably. I mean, I'm not even trying.
Um,
It's just.
Yeah, so if she takes there, I think I had
Do you trap? No.
I think I have h7 check, if I'm not mistaken. If she takes queen h5 check and then knight g6 or not. Yeah, knight g6.
I know what your
Or or
strategies.
at yeah, or at least I could just play queen g6. So let's say instead of h7, if I don't want to
Wait, why
like
don't you go queen h5?
sacrifice.
Oh, no, no, no. Can you go queen h5 or is that too much? Or
Queen h5 now? Yeah, queen h5 or queen g6. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that was the plan
uh
because I want to play h7 and then king h8, you play knight
knight
g6.
g6,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
Okay, so king
yeah,
h8. And
yeah,
now bring the
yeah,
final piece to the party,
yeah,
right?
exactly. But here, yeah, I wasn't sure that if like queen h5 here works.
And what
Um,
did you want to do after this?
because yeah, takes and then I
Queen
think rook
h7,
g.
queen f6, or
I think I should play rook g. I
4
think I should play
first.
rook g4 first. Yeah, but I think I didn't find this move in the game because
But
now
wait,
I want to play. But
so
now I can check and then check on f6. No,
rook
check on
g7?
f6 and then
Then you take
yeah,
e6 as
yeah,
well.
knight g6 check. No, no,
But
no.
wait, wait. Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
but first
When?
play queen f6 maybe. Yeah, queen check takes h6, king
Uh-huh.
queen h7. Yeah, queen f6 check,
Okay, okay,
rook
yeah.
g7, and then knight g6 check, and then I take
And
on
you take
e6.
e6. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I was
Exactly.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, and now you
yeah,
have a discovered,
yeah,
something somewhere.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you have three
but
pieces
yeah,
attacking. It must be something. She only has the queen that can
exactly,
come in, so.
exactly. Yeah, but I said okay. My coach used to tell me that bring the last piece into the game, when I
Well,
was a kid. So
we keep those things. We keep those things, those advices, and then we use them later for our own students. I mean,
yeah,
it's
I
just,
exactly. I think it's in our subconscious mind that
yeah.
it's just there. So yeah,
And well, the end was kind of similar to what we talked about,
yeah,
right? You got that check. The only
sure.
sad thing is that
Yeah,
your king is here, so you can't play knight g6,
exactly. Yeah.
but rook
Hmm.
g1 was enough. It's nice that this knight is super protected. She can't take it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I love the finish. For those of you who are
Exactly.
watching this, pause the video and find the finish, the finish line. It's kind of a beautiful, restricted king. It's not a smothered mate. No, it's not a smothered mate, but it's something as beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah,
Yeah.
rook.
I probably would love to just move my king to f1 or somewhere here, but I couldn't
Yeah,
get the king there and I
yeah,
couldn't unpin the knight.
yeah.
So Yeah.
But this is gorgeous. This is a really nice, final win. She took the pawn.
Yeah.
Just probably was trying to get ready to resign, and after
Yeah.
this, she, yeah,
Yeah.
loved your attacking,
Yeah.
step by step improvement, and the approach is quite good, and I think a lot of people can learn from that. When you start calculating, if you realize you don't have enough time, try to think of logical moves that continue improving your position. Today I came up with this new word: upgrade your pieces. I loved it. I came up when I was teaching, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be my word. I'm gonna use it.
Yeah. You're
Upgrade the
absolutely right.
position,
Yeah.
right? Because kids play video games these
Yes.
days. So what are you gonna say? Oh, upgrade,
Yes.
new character.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
piece.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's a cool word actually.
yeah,
They can remember it better. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful game, Atousa,
Oh,
and
thank you. Thank you so
you won the
much.
championship after this. You had another very nice
Um,
win
yeah, so I
in the
had
last
one
round.
more round. The last round, I mean, that was not easy either because I was playing as black and I needed to win against someone who was also very strong. And I saw that Zoe won her game, so I needed to win the game. And but I tried to keep the game again and keep the pressure and eventually I won the game. So yeah, I was lucky to win the tournament because when I lost, I think it was on round six with a good position. I was kind of upset that why did I, keep thinking I'm going into time trouble and just mess up the position. But overall it worked out. So I learned my lessons, I think, for the next games and I tried to be solid. Yeah.
Is there something particular you usually do when you play a tournament? You feel that it's going well, but you have a tough game in the middle or at some point. What is it that you do to try to get yourself back into the right mindset?
Probably just, yeah, I mean, losing in chess is not that easy. It's tough, especially if you have a good position and you know that your opponent is probably like not winning or at least, not stronger than you. It's a little bit hard to lose those games. But the point is, I think in chess you just need to, take each game like at a time and just I think like erase the past that,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a new game, new day. Although it's really, really difficult, but I think yeah, as a chess player, uh there are a lot of pressure during the tournament, especially if you're playing for like medals. And if you can just focus on your game, just one game at a time, you can succeed and you can just, maximize your chances.
It's not just a statement. People actually do it because you hear it a lot. You hear a lot of strong players
Yes.
talking about that, and it's really important to try to be able to do that, or else you're
Yeah.
just gonna put
Yeah.
yourself down, I
But
think.
again, I think it's just a percentage. Like some people can do it. I don't think I maybe there is a person, but I don't think that all chess like any chess player can do it like 100%. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that there is a chess player that you can just, go to this Zen mode or that there's nothing else in this
Mm-hmm.
world and there's just one game. Because there's always, who's your next opponent or how did I play like before or how my rating is changing here. There are a lot of things, but you want to just minimize it. If you want to say, okay, it's zero or like 100%, then I think it just put more pressure even on you
Mm-hmm.
than just trying to, minimize as much as you can. So, yeah.
But you gotta try. You gotta try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Atusa, what's
Yeah.
uh, what's next for you? What are your next plans and next goals in chess that you're still working for? I'm sure you have some.
Uh, yeah, so there are I mean I got my internet like IM norms like long time ago
Mm-hmm.
like probably 10, 15 years ago And my rating was, I think my highest rating was like 2380 or 2390, and I had like 10, points behind to get my title. And then after that, my rating just dropped. So I really want to get my rating back and pass 2400 per year so I can get my IM title. And yeah, I probably gonna play some tournaments, and we'll see that how basically future will happen for me.
I know what you mean. It's not easy. I was 2386. So I was close there. I only have two
Yeah,
norms though. I at some point it just yeah.
yeah,
But I think it's possible that but we have to put in more time, I think.
exactly.
That's for
Yeah,
sure.
and also play, I think, more tournaments. One thing also about chess in the US is that it's harder for you to travel, especially like most of the, okay, I think recently maybe we have like more tournaments or like some close tournaments
Hmm.
in the States, but most tournaments are in European countries and it's not that easy to travel. And whenever you travel, you have to deal with like jet lag, long flights, and so on. And it's not that easy to travel. I remember when I had my peak rating, I was just playing, like 24/7, and I was
Hmm.
just, traveling here and there. It was much easier. So I think this is something that probably chess players in the United States are not that fortunate enough. But having some tournaments recently, like I think for the past few years in the US is really nice. Especially I heard from the chess players that, for example, Rex Sinkfield sponsored a lot of tournaments and so on. And US Championship is different than, let's say, 20 years ago. And I think it's really, really helpful for especially young generation that it can motivate them, to make a living playing chess, and do something that they enjoy.
Hmm.
Because I think chess is something that you really need to enjoy if you want to keep doing it. Otherwise, I mean, you can't continue. I mean, it's not an easy sport or game that you can just play for fun. There are a lot of pressure along the way, and you need to like the game, love the game, and practice. It's not that easy. So I think uh, anyone who wants to improve, they need to play a lot of tournaments and just keep practicing. And that I think it's as simple as that, kind of. You know.
That's a great advice for everyone who's listening. Atousa, it was great chatting with you. I really appreciate your time, joining me here. I can't wait for this podcast to be shared to the world, and hopefully you all enjoy it. And I wish you a lot of success. Looking forward to meeting you in person
Yeah.
as well soon.
Yes. Thank you
And
so much, Sabina. Thank
yeah,
you.
we'll hear more about you and maybe your other things, maybe not just chess. I'm sure you have hobbies as well. But for those of you who have enjoyed this, be sure to follow Atousa on her social media accounts, YouTube and Twitch as well when she streams, and follow her chess
Sure.
career.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sabina. I know you do a lot to, help improving chess in the United States. I really thank you, and I really appreciate. I think we really need more people like you
Oh,
in
thank you.
in the United States to, help improve chess. And yeah, just keep doing the what you do, and good luck to you as well. And thank you for all of your viewers that were listening to us and hearing us.
Thank you again, Atousa, and yeah, let's continue this series very soon because I feel that it's getting more and more exciting each time. So we'll
Yeah,
see you guys soon.
absolutely. Thank you
Bye.
so much. Have a good one. Bye bye.